welcome back to Coral Talks. This is Caroline. I'm so sorry for the delay. Long time no see. I got caught up with some finals and tests, and I went on spring break, but very glad to be restarting up these episodes, and I hope you guys enjoy. Today I have a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Terence. I'm an ocean photographer from South Africa, and I specialize in waves, the breaking waves on the surface. And I usually try line the wave shot up with the rising sun to create kind of like artistic shots. I was a surfer before, so I'm very comfortable in the ocean, and I've been an ocean baby my whole life. And luckily, this has become a career for me, so I'm very blessed.
That's nice to hear. So, before we get started, would you like to hear a joke?
Yeah, sure.
So I found a photographer joke, for to suit the occasion today. So why did the photographer throw their tripod in the lake?
How?
Well, one of the legs was loose and they couldn't stand it anymore.
That's not a good one, eh? Gee. That's a good one.
Yeah. Um, okay, so would you like to start with the your featured species?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I had to think about it. And to be honest, I really, really, really love dolphins. Something about them that they seem so peaceful and happy, and they look like they're always having a good time. Um, they ride waves, which is really cool. Like they really know how to ride a wave very well. Um, and they're a lot bigger than most people think. You think that a dolphin is nice and cute, but when you next to a fully grown dolphin, they are huge and they're actually quite scary. And if you get knocked by one of them by accident, it could cause a lot of damage. So when I'm in the water, I really want them to come past because that's one of my bucket list shots is to get a dolphin jumping out the wave during sunrise because I've seen it so many times as a surfer and being out there, but I've just never been able to pull the trigger at the right time. So it's one of those elusive photographs that I haven't captured yet. But yeah, I think a dolphin would be my favorite animal out of all animals, not just in the ocean. I really think that they are really, really intelligent. They have a lot of fun. They work in groups, a pot of dolphins. They're always together and they just look like they have a lot of fun. So, yeah, I think a dolphin's my favorite.
That's cool. Yeah, it'd be really nice to capture like a dolphin in one of your photographs, especially with like all the colors and all the angles that'd be really pretty.
I have got a few of dolphins, but it would happen on a cloudy day or in the middle of the day when it hasn't got those colors and they aren't necessarily jumping out the wave. You can they're half in, half out. So they're kind of riding the wave, but they're not jumping. The shot that I want is them fully out the water on a wave, preferably with the sun behind it, like silhouette. Like I have the image in my head. I
Mhm.
just need to kind of put it in the universe so it happens sometime.
Okay, well, I guess we'll be looking forward to it one day. Um, so mine is kind of similar because mine is also like um kind of dolphin looking, but mine is a manatee.
I've
So
never
it's really cute. It looks really wrinkly and old. I
a
like it.
man.
hmm A
Okay.
manatee. It's pretty common over here in the West Coast and in Florida. And they're really cute and they're really slow. They also have to come they're also called like sea cows because
Okay. Okay. Now I know.
yeah,
Okay.
they all they do is just like
Sleep.
slowly swim and sleep and
Yeah.
grass. So I kind of want to be a manatee because how relaxing would that be? But
Yeah.
still, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they are really cool.
Mhm.
They're very, very lazy and they look cuddly.
Yeah, they do. And their little fins are so cute.
Yeah, they are cute.
Hmm. Sometimes I wonder their skin, they're supposed to be gray, but their skin has like furry, a little bit.
Yeah,
I wonder what those.
almost like a seal. The
Hmm.
skin of the
Yeah,
They look like they're super smooth, but they are. I think it is like thin hair, like thick but short hair.
yeah. Okay. Well, now that we finished our featured species, would you like to talk a little bit more about how you got into photography? And
Yeah.
yeah,
So I have always been part of the ocean. Like my first memory, I think I was like 6 years old. I remember being on the beach, and then from there I started junior lifeguarding, and then I got into surfing and bodyboarding. And I think it was around 10 or 11 where I started taking surfing very seriously, bodyboarding specifically very seriously. And I got quite high up in the rankings, and I did the professional tour for a while and all around South Africa. And I thought that was what I was going to do, and that's what I was going to be, as like a professional bodyboarder. And I ended up injuring my shoulder, and I had to have surgery on my left shoulder. And ever since recovery, it's never felt the same. So I kind of had to take a step back from that. And beforehand, I was dabbling in photography, but not anything to do with the ocean. I was just doing it of general nature, and I just like taking photos of almost everything. And then I joined the cruise ships for a while as a photographer. So I traveled the world as a photographer on the cruise ships, and I saw beautiful places. I got some really nice photos of different countries, met a lot of people, and that's when COVID happened. And obviously, everything shut down. Basically, you lose your job, and then you're back in your country, and now you really struggling. You don't know what you're going to do. And I remember there was someone that contacted me because I had seen one of my photos of waves that I had just posted for fun on social media. And they wanted to get a canvas printed of it. And I'm like, well, I've just made some money by not trying of something that I absolutely love. So I started taking more and more photos of waves, and I really enjoyed it. And bear in mind, this is taking photos of waves from on land, like not in the water, because I didn't have the underwater case yet. And I started really enjoying it, and I made a few more sales here and there locally, yeah. And I decided I want to take this fully and invest in a water housing and start putting my two passions together, which is ocean and waves and photography. And I just felt so in tune with what I was doing, because I think as an ocean photographer taking photos of waves and surfing, I think one of the biggest hurdles for someone starting off from scratch is being comfortable in the ocean. And I had that experience for so many years. So that was like second nature to me. And I had been doing photography for a long time. So I didn't really have to learn anything on the photography side. So it was kind of an easy thing to get into. Although the first time I swam out with my camera and my housing, I had thought I made a mistake because it was way more difficult than I thought, because I was used to having a surfboard keeping me afloat. So like if I had to get tired after going under waves and stuff, I would just rest on my board and catch my breath and then carry on. But now I'm just swimming without a board and only have my flippers and a heavy camera because it's quite big. You can see it's no
whoa,
joke.
that's really big.
Yeah, and the camera goes in here, so it's really heavy. So when you get tired, you can't just hold on to anything. You have to like keep kicking and compose yourself and keep breathing. So it took me a while to get used to that part. But since now it's been about 4 years since I've started going into the water with my camera, and I can't tell anything other than good stuff. I absolutely love doing it. It's my favorite thing ever to do. I would do it if there was no money. If I would do it if that's the last thing I had to do. I just love doing it. It's literally, it doesn't even make me upset anymore about injuring my shoulder. Like I think now that it happened for a reason, that I was supposed to be an ocean photographer. So like, I'm happy to let go of the surfing side, and it's because it's opened this door for me. So I'm very, very blessed that I can still do this. And hopefully I can do it for a lot longer.
Hmm. Yeah, I was listening and I would definitely understand if like it would have been sad that surfing has been lost because of that injury. But then it's also nice that it kind of happened coincidentally when someone reached out and like said that your photography was so amazing that they wanted a canvas out of it. And I like how it kind of just out of nowhere puts you in what you like, the two things that
Yeah.
you like best.
I remember before someone asked me for a canvas, obviously everyone was like struggling to find work and to make a living and to make money because the world basically stopped. And we were trying all different ways. I was trying to go back overseas to go on the yachts, and nothing was working. I wasn't getting anywhere because I guess when you're trying to force something that isn't supposed to be, just because you need to make money, you're never gonna last. You might make it for a while, but either you'll get tired of trying that hard, or if you fail, you won't keep on going. But then when I found this, I don't care how many times I fail. I don't care if I don't make money. I will do it. And if you try hard enough for long enough, it is impossible to fail. So I'd rather struggle doing something that I love than do well at something that I don't like doing.
Mm, that's an important message, and I think you brought up a really good point about like finding work and then kind of going in that like phase that either you get disinterested or then if it's like struggling and then you don't really like care about this work in a way or like enjoy this work, then you're like not gonna continue and try harder. But then if
Yeah.
it's like photography and being in the ocean, it's a challenge and you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah. There's a saying. I'm not too familiar with it exactly, but I don't know if you've ever heard of a phrase called ikigai.
No, I haven't.
So I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but I heard it somewhere, and it was really special because it means that the purpose of life is to find something that you like doing, or something that it's the intersection between what you like doing, what you're good at, what you can help other people with, and what you can make a living with. Like, that's the ultimate. If you can find something that has all those pillars, you're helping the world, you're doing what you love, you can make a living from it, and you're really good at it. So like, obviously it's very difficult for everyone to do that because sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and feed your family however you can. But if you have the potential of doing something that you love, that you're good at, you can make a living from, and hopefully help people in some way, that's the ultimate kind of way to live your life. So I am blessed, and I hope that I can carry on, because a lot of my followers and the people that view my work, they tell me that they get a sense of calm or peace when they view my work, because it is kind of relaxing and not too many people get to experience it the way I see it. And that's my message. I just want people to be in nature and appreciate the beauty of nature. And if you're having a bad day, if you are able to, just go jump in the ocean, or if you don't have the ocean nearby, go walk in the forest, or just simply go outside and look at the trees for a little bit, because it will make you feel a little better.
Mhm. Yeah,
So yeah.
you brought up how your like pieces, a lot of people are saying that it's like calm and it brings a sense of stillness. And I think that's also something that I see in your work because it's like capturing you're capturing a frame of what is usually supposed to be moving or scary for some people, or
Mm,
it's a big massive like blue for some people. And
yeah,
it's really special. And in your photography, you can really, really, really see the colors, especially when you take it with the different angles of the sun. So,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one benefit of where I'm living on in South Africa. It's on the KwaZulu-Natal coast, which is the Indian Ocean, and the sun rises over the ocean. So all my shots are usually first thing in the morning. And a lot of people are very scared of being in the ocean at that time, and rightfully so. It is definitely not a safe time. Like I'm completely understand that it is not the best time to be in the water because it's the feeding time for sharks. But I am really careful on where I go in, and if I feel a bit off that day, or if I see something that I'm not happy with, I won't go in. Like I'm very calculated where I go in, and the formation of the bay, and I won't swim when the water's brown or if there's a river mouth necessarily nearby or something. So I'm very careful of what I do. But that is the only way I can show people the real beauty, because many people don't see the ocean at sunrise from in the water. Like people see the ocean all the time, but maybe during the day from land. Like that's the most common, and you just see it. But being in the water with the waves coming over you, with the sun behind the wave, is a very, very unique moment. And to pause that, people really find some kind of calm or peace. And that's all I want to convey in my work.
I think that's really special. And you did show me a little bit of your camera and how big it was. And you also talked about getting in the ocean and carrying that really big camera and swimming. I was wondering how you're able to make the shot possible, if that makes sense with your camera.
Yeah, no, it's not as straightforward as one might think. Like it's not about just swimming out there with the housing and the camera inside. So, firstly, I set up the camera before I put it in the case. So I kind of have a good idea of the settings beforehand, depending on the cloud cover, um, the size of the wave, um, if it's like if I'm going to be shooting a subject like surfers, or if the waves are small or big, all of that plays a part in what my best guess is to for the settings. Although I am able to change the settings while I'm in the water, I'd usually like just try to get a, a feel for it, and then if I need to change it, I will. Another thing I have to look out for is water droplets that go onto this. So after I come up, the water sometimes shears off quite nicely, but I do have like a squeegee that I use, that I tie to my wetsuit, that in between waves, I'll just wipe any excess droplets, because those droplets will ruin your shot completely
Mhm.
if there's enough of them. And that's one of the difficult parts, is that if the waves are close together, there's a lot going on, because I would come up from the previous wave, I would have to look why, and then kind of like plan my shot. And this all happens in seconds, where I have to make sure that the settings are right, that there's no water droplets, and then focus, and then the moment happens. And then I come up, and then it happens for 3 hours. So I'll probably take about 3,000 photos per session if it's a long session.
Mhm.
Obviously, because I'm using a burst mode, so that's why I'm able to get like the best moment. It's not just one photo, because it's that's what they used to do. As surf photographers, they used to be using film cameras, which means you only get like, what was it, like 30 photos in a spool reel,
Mhm.
um, in a film reel, sorry. And then that means you have 30 shots only, and you can't burst mode, which means one shot is that's it. Then you got 29, then 28. So you have to be very careful, I guess, back then with your shots. Now, because of digital photography, we are a little bit more blessed with the way we can shoot. So we can just pull the trigger down and then just burst mode. And then we usually, as photographers, choose the best one out of that sequence. Usually when the wave is at its the best, the glory shot, as we call it, when the wave's like perfect and the sun's right there. And then we just have to hope that it's in focus, because sometimes it will focus on the water in front of you by
Mhm.
accident, or focus on the far background. And I take so many photos, and maybe 10 photos make it out of like 10 sessions. Like it's really not a lot of photos make it to my books, and the ones that I let go for print. Like there's a lot of ones that are okay for social media, because you don't really get to see the nitty gritty details and see that it's a little bit of out of focus.
Mhm.
But for print and for my books and things like that, everything needs to be perfect. I'm very critical when it comes to the print work and the ones that go in my book is because in print, you'll be able to see the defects in an image. You'll be able to see that it's not really in focus in the corner there. There was a water droplet there, and you'll be able to see it more. But yeah, it's not as straightforward as just zooming out with your camera and taking a photo. There's a lot of like things to take into consideration.
Yeah, that's different. It sounds like it takes a lot of first practice and then patience and a lot of time too, with all like the sessions and trying to figure out your camera equipment before, and then like learning how to do all those steps within seconds. It's also,
Yeah.
mhm.
So I've there's been a lot of photos where the moment is the best moment ever. And I've taken the photo and I'm thinking, I think I just got the best photo that I've ever got in my life. And then it breaks my heart sometimes where I look at the camera, or I come back in and I get it on the computer and I look at it and it's like out of focus, or I didn't do it right and it was a waste. And
Mm,
those moments really hurt because like I messed the shot up. But then again, the patience part of it comes in that I need to remember that the moment still happened. It doesn't mean that the moment didn't happen and I was there to see it. So that's where I need to breathe and be like, it's okay. There's going to be so many more moments, and at least I was out there at the time. So it
mm,
is a lot of patience that come involved. Yeah,
yeah, and a nice like mindset, definitely.
yeah. It teaches me even during normal life situations where things don't go your way, and you
Mm,
have to, instead of just losing it, you just have to understand what happened and how you can make things different. And sometimes it's just out of your control. Like sometimes the the camera just focused on the wrong thing, which means I just need to be a little bit more careful next time to make sure that I focus on the right thing. It's just part of life.
yeah, that's a nice lesson to learn too, and a nice reminder through doing what you love and knowing that, like things don't always work, but it will work eventually. Hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, you were saying how like you do multiple sessions each time you go in, or depending on the conditions. I was wondering how long you stay in there each time.
And yeah, so it depends on a few things. So obviously it depends on the weather and the ocean. Because I usually look for when the wind is not blowing too hard. I want the water to be quite still. That's preferably the best time when the water's still. Obviously, sunrise only lasts a certain amount of time before it's either a bit too high, then the light gets a bit too harsh, especially if you're facing the sun for so long, it blinds you after a while. Um, and then also the tide can change quickly, and that depends on the spot. And the spot that I go and swim at, if it gets too low, it doesn't end up working, and you have to get out. Or if it gets too high, it means it's not going to work. So all those things usually make a big difference. But generally, I would spend anywhere from 1 hour and to 3 hours. 3 hours being like a long session, and then 1 hour being like most of the time it's 1 hour.
I see. That's
Yeah,
interesting. Thankfully you have your like wetsuit, so it keeps you kind of regulates your
exactly.
body temperature and stuff to help you while you stay in there for so long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely. And I actually use a brand called Matus. And ever since I've changed to them, it's changed a lot. Like they are such good quality wetsuits that I wasn't used to. Like I was using like just your average wetsuits here and there, and it would do its job. And then I changed to them, and now like I don't feel cold. I don't. It feels comfortable. Like a wetsuit really makes a big difference um, on your comfortable way how you spend your time in the ocean. Like you could, after the session, if you use a not so good wetsuit, you can end up having those the rash and then on your arms, and it just gets really uncomfortable. But really good quality wetsuits make a difference because then you can stay in longer and they last longer. Firstly, the wetsuit, and they keep you warm.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
that makes sense. And then sometimes it's hard for the sizing too, and it's like you got to find the right size. And sometimes even though it feels tight and the water still goes in, or it's like
mhm.
it's too stiff, you can't barely maneuver in the ocean. So yeah,
Exactly. It's very important to be comfortable before you go in, because if you don't feel good before you go in, it's just going to be in the back of your mind the whole time that you're not comfortable already. So that's always what I tell people that want to start this kind of thing, is that before anything else, you need to be comfortable going in the ocean. Like, if forget your camera, can you go and swim in the ocean? Like, are you comfortable? Are you not gonna be freaking out? Because that's one thing. If you're not comfortable, then part of your mindset will be trying to stay afloat, or where am I the whole time, and trying to like be comfortable. You're not even going to be thinking about taking a photo. So first things first is just make sure you know all the safety rules and things of the ocean, and if you're comfortable, then that's when you can slowly start going.
I see. Well, it was really cool listening to your story and how you got started.
Sure.
I really liked how things kind of went to the way that ended up helping and being something that you love in your life. I also love the many lessons that it teaches you, me, and it teaches just about daily life too. And
Exactly.
that was really cool. I was listening to you talk about like mindset and stuff, and I realized that I forgot to do three things we were grateful for, because usually we start off with that. So would you like to tell me three things you're grateful for?
Yeah, sure. I'm very appreciative of my family. Like, they've done a lot for me and they're always there for me. I also have a lot of um, respect for the ocean. Like, I'm very thankful for the ocean. The ocean, it keeps me grounded. So like every time I go away from the ocean for a few days, I don't know, I feel funny. I need to get back to that ocean. So I'm thankful that I'm in a place where the ocean's right here. I'm a very firm believer in God, and I thank Him every single day for what I have, and for this journey to have led to this place, because this, I can feel that it's what I'm supposed to be doing. And obviously it gets sometimes hard where you doubt yourself. You don't know if you should just go get a normal regular job because you need to start, um, I don't know, you need to make more money or whatever the case may be. And then I have to think to myself, it's not about that. It's about, doing what you feel is right, and whatever you can do to hopefully help someone else. And I feel that sometimes my work does help other people, even if it's on a small screen on Instagram or something. It might still help their day. So that's also another thing that I'm very thankful for. And then also, what else can I say that I'm thankful for? Is just, yeah, everyone's support. I think there's a lot of people out there that I'm thankful for, because they support my work, and their words are very kind, and I appreciate that very much. So yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying with the ocean, because it's kind of like it's the place where you can like be in tune with yourself and for you also do something that you love and that you find joy in. And so I get that. And with you were mentioning how you were a follower of God. For me, coming from Catholic school and also having being a follower of God, I get what you're saying and how God is able to lead you in a way through accidents to lead you to something that is meant to be and supposed to happen. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, and I think things that I'm grateful for, well, one is talking to you because I was blessed to find your work on while I was scrolling on Instagram and then saw more of your work. And I think another thing that I'm grateful for is to also have that connection with the ocean. Although I'm like still young and I don't necessarily have a profession, but I also do find peace in the ocean by going scuba diving and seeing another world that is the crazy of Los Angeles.
The
Something.
world moves too fast. The world moves too fast in their lives, and they don't stop to look around a little bit. And if people could do that, I guess it's harder in places like New York and where there's minimal nature. You have to actually go to like Central Park or something. But if people could just stop and look around and take a deep breath and realize that everything is going to be okay, I'm sure people would slowly but surely live better lives. And you got regarding scuba diving, and yeah, carry on doing it. I mean, there's no finish line. Like, there's no finish line for me. People always ask me what's my like end goal, and my end goal is just to like keep doing this as long as I can. And obviously, there's goals, but um, I don't think that there's an end goal for me. I mean, the end goal is to keep doing it, and that doesn't have a finish line. Like, people always ask me what's my best photo that I've ever taken, and it's still out there. Like, I'm still going to get those photos, and then when I get that photo, I'm not going to say it's my best photo, and I'm just going to go to the next time. It's just find something that you are pretty sure that you need to be okay with failing. So like, finding something that you're okay with failing with means that you're going to always do it, because people choose something and then they fail at it, and then they stop doing it. So the point isn't to do that. The point is to find, when you fail, and you find that the what you can do to make that better, and keep doing that for as long as you can live for. That's the ultimate goal, to not get discouraged by failing, but finding like um, a challenge and wanting to make it better. That's the idea.
Yeah, it's definitely really important to find something that you want to do and that you know you'll be curious about and have that drive to continue. You know, especially coming from me, like as a student perspective, there's always a lot of external pressures from adults or those invisible expectations that we need to meet. But ultimately, like you were saying, it's only good in the long run if you're doing what you love, because failing or struggling at that point is not really going to stop you. Because if you love it, you'll continue to find other ways or other opportunities to do that thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing. If you love what you do and you really, really enjoy it, and you're not doing it for any other reason, failing is going to be okay, because you're not going to quit because you failed. Because why? Why would you quit something that you love doing because you failed? You only stop what you're doing is because sometimes people are forced into doing something they don't want to do. And then when you fail at it, you're like, see, it didn't work. I don't want to do this. But if you love what you're doing, failing is just like, oh, okay, I'm going to carry on doing this because I want to. And my sister once said that to me, and this is before I started this ocean photography thing, and it helped me actually think about it. And she said, what would you do if money was no option? Like, what would you, if you were a billionaire and money was no option for you, what would you do every day? And this is what I would do. Like, I would still take photos in the ocean if money was no option. Like, if I didn't ever have to think about money again, what would you do? And some people think about like all the luxuries, like they would travel for the rest of their life. And to be honest, like, people, you would get bored of that. You need to find something that you will be able to do every day, whatever it is. It might be knitting, it might be anything, but it can't be like, you can't say traveling, because you will get tired of that. There's only so many places you can go. So finding something that means a lot to you, that you would do it every day regarding the outcome. That's what you, and then finding if there's a way to make money from that is the ultimate way. And then also, if you can help someone along the way, then you found the perfect like combination.
Yeah, I get that. And money is such a determining and important factor in everyone's lives. I think we get caught up in thinking about doing something for the rest of our lives that can provide us with money and stability. I mean, like, financial stability is really important, but like you were saying, finding something that means a lot and can provide money is definitely a perfect combination. And of course, as humans, like, connection is really important. It would almost be pointless if what we're doing is all for ourselves, by ourselves. And so knowing that what you like to do also has impact on others would definitely mean a lot too. And I'm really happy for you that you are able to find that combination and you're able to reach people who find and see something in your photography, while also making profit and doing something that you love. Anyway, thank you, Terence, for joining me on this week's Coral Talks episode.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And thank you guys. And make sure to check out Terence's unique and awe-inspiring works on his Instagram at orangerocks.za. Thank you guys so much. Love you all and see you next time. Bye.